How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.
Mumbai have only won at home. RCB have only won away. One of those two things will change on Monday night when RCB and Mumbai Indians collide at Wankhede, a ground where RCB haven't won since 2015. What can we expect from match number 20 of IPL 2025? Let's find out on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout, where we have the company of Ian Bishop and Ambati Rayudu. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. The biggest news ahead of this game for all of India, barring RCB, is that Jasprit Bumrah is back, Bish. How much will that mean to MI and lift the spirits in a side which has lost 3 out of 4 so far?
As a cricket watcher, it's a great thing for me as someone who, like so many others, rates Jasprit as the best bowler across formats these days. It's certainly a lift to have his knowledge back and his skill back. Where he is in his bowling, only time will tell. But it gives them so many options. A guy who can bowl in the power play, a guy who can bowl in the middle, and superb at the death when he's at his best. So I think Mumbai need that.
Who do you reckon goes out? Because Ashwini Kumar had such a good game. Wankhede took a 4-4. That was also a game where Deepak Chahar struck twice, but Chahar has not had the greatest of outings outside of that. Which way would you go?
I think I would go with experience of Deepak Chahar simply because you're playing a big game against RCB and you want your best 11 out there. I mean, in terms of experience as well. Because when you have batsmen like Kohli and Phil Salt coming at you, you need you need to have the know-how on what to do at that present situation. So Ashwini can take a breather, sit down and watch the experienced guys go about it, learn, and maybe be ready for games outside of Mumbai.
You'd agree with that selection call?
Yeah, I would go that way. At times, there are times the ball hasn't swung because Deepak is bowling the second over, whereas Trent Bolt rightly is bowling the first, given his record. So it's a good time for Ashwini to continue learning. It's hard on him because of the 4 wickets, as you said, he got at the Wankhede. But if you have a choice, Jasprit Bumrah is coming back. I don't think you can go with just push Chahar to the side.
It will also mean a tough question for the captain and the think tank. Bolt, Bumrah, Deepak Chahar. The captain himself has got a 5-4 in the last game. How are you splitting those overs?
What I would say is that Trent Bolt is a no-brainer up front. I think Deepak is at his very best if he's bowling that new ball and trying to get swing, as absent as swing has been. And Bumrah showed there were a couple of seasons where there was a lot of talk because he was being bowled. He wasn't being bowled in the power play, wasn't he? He was bowling in the middle. He can bowl at any phase for you. So I think that's a good thing to have. But I think the new ball has to go at least for an over or two to Bolt and to Chahar, in my view.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And I think Deepak Chahar these days is trying to really bowl that short of a length. Earlier, he used to just let the ball swing, bowl slightly fuller. I think Deepak Chahar ideally should be bowling about 3 overs in the power play with Bolt bowling the other 2, and maybe Hardik or Bumrah. If it is the 6th over, definitely Bumrah because batsmen go hard in that phase. But Hardik, if he has to bowl in the first 2 overs so that he can get some swing.
Because he hasn't bowled in the power play at all. I actually thought that in the game against LSG where he got 5, he actually came on 2 overs later than I thought he should have come in. I think he bowled over 9 or 10 or something like that, where I thought as soon as the power play was over, I thought he would come in, but it didn't happen.
Fun conversation to have when Jasprit Bumrah returns to competitive cricket after 3 months and you tell him, hang on, you're not bowling in the power play. So good luck to Hardik Pandya. He does have his full bowling resources to choose from, though. It is one of the toughest grounds to bowl at. So I'd also like to get your thoughts on RCB and how you assess their bowling attack, especially when it comes to the defensive bowling that might be important at venues like these.
Well, Josh Hazlewood certainly has shown good early season form. Boovi, if it's Boovi can swing. Boovi's been around the traps for God knows how long, probably longer than I've been around the game, to be quite honest with you. Whether go Yash Dayal again. So I think they just have to come and do it. And I particularly think that Josh Hazlewood has an important role to play in that respect because of the bounce that he can get, the control that he can give you as a defensive option, even though some guys think his length is predictable. It's just his subtle adjustments from very short of a good length to short of a good length that he keys in on. So they've got some options there to work with.
So Hazelwood, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Yash Dayal, Krunal Pandya, who has a lot of experience of bowling at this venue. Do RCB have the bowling to stop MI if they are in full flight?
Yeah, I think so, and especially MI's batting being slightly light in the lower middle order. I think RCB have a very, very formidable bowling unit for the conditions in Wankhede. And as Bish said, the opening pair in terms of bowling are really key on that pitch, where the ball will do a little bit, and Hazelwood, he's quite unpredictable sometimes. His short of a length ball, people try and pull, but it comes a lot faster than you expect, and he gets a lot of wickets on that ball. So this pitch will suit him, and he'll be a handful to handle for the MI batters.
If we consider MI's batting, they've had to make some changes. They didn't have Rohit Sharma available in the last outing. What has changed a lot through these 4 games is the number 3 position. You've seen Will Jacks bat there a couple of times. Tilak Varma played there 1 game, and then in the last game when Will Jacks was opening, Namandhir batted 3, and he had a rather impressive knock. Who do you think is the best candidate?
That's a tough one, and that probably should go more to the specialist batsman in this group. But my conundrum was that I like Tilak at number 3, right? Because when I look at what he's done for India, where he's batted at 3 more times than he's batted at 3 in the IPL. I think in the IPL he's only batted there a couple of times. I like the fact that he can go in and take on the power play, because he's been very slow in the last 2 innings outside of the power play. He never really got going. But somebody messaged me the other day and said Namandhir is better when he can also bat in that power play phase at number 3. Excuse me. If I remember his last innings, though, last year, his very last innings against Lucknow Super Giants, he got a half century, but I think he was batting at maybe 5 or 6. But if I have a preference, I like Tilak, but that means another change for another game at 3, which I think destabilizes quite a lot of things when you're moving up and down.
I think ideally Namandhir, because of the last game, the way he has batted, and also the kind of technique that he possesses, and if they lose an early wicket in the power play, it will be good that Namandhir goes in, and you also need a strong middle order, an experienced middle order who has the skill to play against spin as well as fast bowling, and also the temperament to handle the pressure, and that Tilak, Surya and Hardik I feel are the key in that middle overs. Otherwise, as we said, definitely Tilak. Ideally, if you just look at it from Tilak's point of view, number 3 is ideal. Okay. But if you look at it as a whole batting unit point of view, I think you need some solid experience in the middle.
What I would ask, would there be an option, and I'm just throwing this out, if you've got a left and a right combination, if the lefty goes at the top, you're not
I don't want to, because see, in the middle, if Tilak has to play against left-arm spinners or leg spinners, you need a left-hander there, and also to support Surya and Hardik to play that kind of a stabilizing role where everybody else can revolve around you.
I'll just add, since you brought it up, in the last game we did see Tilak Varma padded up, almost looking like he is the number 3 batter. Right. So it is possible MI were considering what you're saying. And
if Rickleton goes first.
Yes, and I think it was Will Jacks who fell first, and then we saw Namandhir. Right. We'll get a better idea in the games that come. But also want to ask you about Tilak Varma's frame of mind. The retiring out, and not just the retiring out, but also the fact that he's not looked at his fluent self yet this season.
I mean, definitely he'll come into form as a batsman, that's a given, because he's too good a batsman not to come into form or not to come into a good rhythm. The only thing I feel about the whole retiring thing is the communication between the management and the player. Was it done before the season or before the game that we will consider doing this, or was Tilak informed in the batting timeout? This is something that we are looking at, or if you're struggling, let us know, because that is very, very important. Because you can't just to win a small little battle in terms of a win in a league game, you can't really lose your one of your best batsmen's confidence going into the season. So you want him on board in every decision that you make, because it is related to him. So you want every player to be on board with the ideology of the team. So it is very, very important, and the captain has to take the lead, and also the coaches have to communicate well with players. Otherwise, you might lose a lot of players in terms of their willingness to give that 100% or sometimes more. When you take them on board and tell them that, boss, yes, you are the one. We want you to come out and tell me honestly you're struggling today. Okay, I want, you are the one to tell me, should I make the change? Then you see players really come out and express themselves. But I just hope that's the way things are being run there.
It's a sign of changing landscape of Indian cricket and just the influx of young talent that we've gone through an MI-RCB preview without mentioning Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Let's get predictions before this wraps up. Who are your favourites, Bish?
I want to go with MI at the Wankhede. In terms of team, right?
Yes,
You're talking
yes.
team. Now, they'll never win now that I've picked them. But I'm going to go with them because I think the hurt I saw on Hardik Pandya's face, he actually cried after that loss at LSG. I think they'll be chomping at the bit. So too will RCB, but just home advantage. I'm going to go MI.
RCB fan?
RCB fan, but played 8 years for Mumbai. you can't take away Mumbai and CSK out of me, but definitely RCB looks stronger. Just because Bumrah is returning, they are quite balanced, but I would go with form and I would go with RCB.
Oh, that is a moment for RCB fans to savor. It's a split panel. It's
No,
Ambati,
because whatever I
Rayudu.
predict
The
does not
opposite
happen.
So that's the way I feel as well.
All right. We're playing 3D chess here. Thank you, gentlemen,
Thank you.
for your time, for your thoughts. You've heard it from the panel. Split verdict here. What can we expect? Be sure to join the build-up to MI versus RCB just ahead of toss time on Maruti Suzuki Arena. Presents ESPN Cricinfo Timeout.
How do I do it all? The Brezza gives me the power.